All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another Jab Podcast. This is episode 84. My name is Combo Breaker 99.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Boxing P.
And we hope everybody had a good, safe holiday. We back up in this grind once again to talk this boxing conversation.
Yeah, man.
We had a pretty interesting weekend in boxing. I say interesting because, we had some knockouts and we had some flat performances, man. I mean, this was Fox, PBC, the premier card, and we had the Charlos on there, the double bill. Jamel Charlo versus Tony Harrison, Jamal Charlo versus Matt Korobov. And both of these performances, man, they weren't the highlights that they needed to move forward in this game. I mean, let's look at Jamel Charlo and Tony Harrison first, man. To me, this decision, they had a unanimous decision for Tony Harrison, but, like we was talking off the mic, we never know what people are looking for. But I know in my eyes, I'll break it down why I feel like it was a robbery. But what about you? What did you think of it, P? As far as when people say it was a robbery.
I mean, everybody is entitled to, their opinion. Anytime a fight goes 12 rounds and it's not just like a one total lopsided performance, is subject to falling either side. You know what I mean? It's just, we see it time and time again. And that's the thing of it, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. So if a guy thinks this guy won, another guy thinks the other guy won, it's nothing to debate and argue and get mad about. Everybody has their right to, voice what they think they saw, because everybody's perspective is different. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, we all watching the same fight, but I mean, some people watching it at home, this guy watching it live, this guy you know what I mean? It's so many factors. When you really think about it, even down to the judges. One judge is sitting right here, another judge is sitting right here. You know what I mean? Even maybe 3-4 feet makes a difference in what a judge could be seeing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just that thing, overall it was it like you said, it was some interesting boxing this weekend. That's another thing, we were talking off the mic. I'm not going to go like deep into detail, but I do want to bring up this one point. And like if you watch a fight and a guy, and I'm just hypothetically speaking, a guy is the underdog in the fight and they do more than you expected them to do, how that affects what people are seeing. You know what I mean? It really does, because it kind of overshadows what another guy may be really doing. You know what I'm saying? Because the guy that you didn't expect to do anything is doing something, where the guy who you expected, he's just doing what he normally do. You just kind of overlooking that. You know what I mean? So like for the Jamel and Harrison fight, that's kind of how it was for me. I'm watching it. I'm thinking, I'm waiting for Jamel to just catch him and it's over. But I'm watching his head's constantly snapping back. I'm watching, Harrison, make him miss and pay. You know what I mean? So I had to acknowledge that too. I mean, when it came down to the decision, I didn't know what was going to happen. And I just know that here we go. It's in the judge's hands. You didn't totally demolish him. It's you know what I mean? You just never know. I never know what's going to happen when the fight really goes forward. I never know, I never know.
Was this really one of them ones where you felt like that, where you were just kind of uncomfortable, like on your seat about it? Like, I don't know which way it's going to go.
No.
Not as far as the fight, but as far as the decision being read, where you were like, oh shit, I don't know. Is that what you mean? Because to me, I felt, like I said, I'll let you go back real quick, but I felt that Jamel won comfortably. So when I felt the decision was going to be read, I thought that was just going to be it,
Oh, so like you just automatically knew that was good. So you were shocked pretty much when they.
I was shocked.
Okay,
I was shocked
when they said it. I was like, oh, I mean, I could see how people may have perceived it that way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, unanimous. I don't know. You know what I mean?
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Yeah, that's the crazy part.
Draw, I probably would have been like, damn, but still accepted.
Or even split. I would say, okay, well, some people split 50 saw this, split 50 saw it that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the unanimous, that was a little interesting. But definitely like when they read it, I wasn't like, oh man, because it's just like I say, for me, and I'm still a guy who the Charlos haven't rubbed the wrong way, but their energy, the way they present themselves, sometimes they rub people the wrong way, and they have rubbed some fans the wrong way. I mean, of course, they have millions of fans that love them and everything, but they have rubbed some guys the wrong way, and particularly just the young guys. And it's still the thing: the young guys are coming in and not having to pay dues, and seem like they're like just rising up real quick. You know what I mean? That's part of it too.
Yeah.
And like you just said, well, Pete, I wasn't sold on these guys. I'm still waiting to see.
Right.
But the way they're being packaged is they're there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for a guy who tunes in because he saw the package that they displayed, he saw the commercial, he's tuned in thinking, yeah, you know what I mean? And then so imagine a guy for the first time tuning in and seeing them. Is he going to be impressed?
No.
And that's just all what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Because going back to what we were saying, because we talked about them in the past episodes where, I feel like, okay, they're promising guys, but the level that they speak on is something they still got to earn. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
Going into this card here on PBC as a double bill, I was like, well, maybe they are that, but at the same time, like I said, knowing Harrison and Korobov, seeing them fight in the past, I knew this wasn't going to be no cakewalk, But for somebody like Jamel in this fight, like we always say, there's that saying, don't leave it in the hand of the judges. But there's also that saying, to beat the champ, you got to beat the champ, To beat the champ, you got to beat the champ. And to me, I just didn't feel like Harrison had did enough, even on like this double bill, to upset a guy that they are, quote unquote, showcasing. You know what I mean? Like, let's look at the fight a little bit. Like first half of the fight, I felt like Tony Harrison was being him. He was being him. He was being that boxer, slick boxer, until he gets caught. Like he had the past, gets 2 losses. But I feel like he, like I said on the last episode, he's a long rangey guy, and he's not going to be there to be hit like Charlo was expecting. And I think that Jamel feeling like, I made this comparison too off the mic, I felt kind of like he was almost in that Shane Mosley mentality. Sometimes boxers give him trouble. He's kind of used to a tailor-made guy that's going to be in his range. And he was never up to the task Saturday night to close that range and find it, because the knockout was there. The knockout was there, and I could see that's why a lot of people felt like, oh, you didn't show improve. But that aside, I do feel like he won, but that's not in an impressive way. But going back to the knockout, it was there because even when he was rocking, like you said, he was hitting Charlo, but he was also rocking him a few times. First half of the fight, he buckled him a few times. So I was like, it's going to end soon. But he made 6 more rounds of trouble in the second half when he started letting Harrison move more. He started letting Harrison get a little comfortable.
Yeah, got comfortable in there.
But Harrison's moments to me were still too far in between. Like you would do a little flurry here and there in 30 seconds around. Then Charlo would go back to dictating the pace.
And that's what it was, and it was like Charlo was dominating, but we kept seeing flashes throughout the fight. It never stopped. Tony would flash, he would flash, he would flash, he would flash. And those flashes were enough to catch people's eyes like, yo, he ain't even supposed to be flashing. He ain't even supposed to be flashing. You know what I mean? So
to the casual fans,
to the casual fans, and maybe to some Harrison fans. Some Harrison fans, everything he did, making the guy miss is worth something. You know what I mean? It on paper and in the ring.
Yeah.
It takes energy out of a guy, and it's defense. It's defense. So Harrison definitely had some great defense that night, and like I say, and you can't just plan on the guy being in front of you waiting for you to hit him in the chin and knock him out. You know what I'm saying?
Not all styles are that way.
Yeah, you have to pretty much. I mean, like we said, we watched Terrence Crawford set the knockout up, man. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just different levels and different things you see in different fighters that in that same era of fighters, because this is the thing. these guys not 21, 22. Okay, they don't have 5 years to improve to get to the top level. In my opinion, I mean, these guys, this is it. They winding down, they 28, 30, 31, 32. That's, it's not, it's not young guys in the game. You know what I mean? So it's like, how much longer do y'all have for improvement?
Right. I don't, like, for me, I don't really know what they possess. That's what I'm saying. Like, from what they were doing in the fight, if you had something else, you got to let it go. You know what I mean? You got to perform. Now's the time to show it, because that's what this was, a showcase fight. Because, like, going back to the fight, there was a lot of times Harrison was circling to his left, right into Charlo's money punch. But he would never throw it. There was times when I was like, fire that right hand, because he's circling right into it. So you walk him down, you catch him, and that's it. So to me, what was it? Was it the fact that it was his first big card? But I mean, when you talk a big game, you got to prove it on this big card.
And that's all.
That's what I'm saying. When you put big card and, big image in hand, you got to make it all blow up.
And then, like you say, Ant, the same way you peep that this guy was moving to the left and all he had to do was land the big right, and he didn't cap it. Other fighters saw that too. Other people were watching it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Other people were watching things and saying, yo, you ain't see that.
Yeah.
King of the Jungle, you ain't see. So that's what I'm saying. Not exposed where they're not good fighters, but, people hungry. It's other lines to want to eat. And they look waiting for any weakness, any limp, any sign of, so it was a lot of things happening in there that, like I say, from a fan sitting back watching it on TV, you see, like you said, you wondering like, yo, why are you not taking advantage of it? You know what I'm saying? Is it that something you couldn't pull the trigger, or you just didn't know, man? Because we ring IQ matters.
Ring IQ matters. You know what I'm saying? It's a big part. That's why I'm saying, like, when you may be thinking this guy's gonna be in front of me all night, but I'm throwing this jab, but I'm missing him. I got to close that distance, I can't wait for him to come to me. I got to go after him, and that was kind of a perfect night to show you that boxing at a range is something that they don't do a lot of. Inside is something that they do, and they need to do it more effectively against a guy like Harrison that's going to be moved. You got to go to his body. You got to open up everything, You can't depend on the one signature thing that got you where it got you, what I mean? And I think that, like I said, for me, I really wouldn't call them exposed that night, because to me, for a fighter to be exposed, I think they have to be at a certain level, and they have to be beaten by that real elite guy. You know what I mean? Like, if you say you got here certain, at a certain amount of fights, A level, you're called A level, and then you really get in there with that A level truth, and he exposed you, and you ain't got nothing. To me, that's more so exposed, To me, I think that this fight kind of proved that they were green. Just green.
I mean, and some people would equate that as being y'all not ready for the level that y'all talking about.
Yeah, I can live with them saying that, hey, you need to go back and do some, you got to go back and do some work, or you need to let them hands go because of. Or really look at the big picture, because the knockout was there. You know what I mean? That's why I can't really say they were exposed. Like, to me, in the past, like, you see a boxer take a puncher apart that's on the same level. That's kind of.
I mean, I get what you're saying too, man. I get what you're saying. You're saying the guy got to be made before he can.
Yeah, he got to be made before he's even exposed.
I get what other people were saying too, because a C level guy can expose a C level guy. Right. I see it like that. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they were C levels, but I'm just saying, I mean, an A level guy can expose an A level, but
just off of like exposure, we don't even know. A lot of people don't know Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison is probably a B, but he's not put out there because he's learned from these two. He's had 2 knockout losses, but he's learned from them. Yeah. But since then, his skill and IQ is probably higher than Jamel.
I mean, obviously, but see, they wearing the belts. It's the same thing with Anthony Joshua. Yeah. He got the belts. That don't mean he's the best fighter. That don't mean he's the smartest. People say he be getting exposed because they see holes in his game. He's not an A-level fighter. So, it's all how you look at it. But Tony Harrison definitely showed me that he was smart in there. I was impressed. I wasn't familiar with him before that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and not that he did something that was so impressive because, like you say, this guy is not made yet, but it's a lot of hype behind the guy. It's a lot of muscle. It's a lot of noise behind him, man. And that's what I'm just saying. It's a lot of, noise behind the guy. So that's what I'm saying. You got this quiet car you don't know nothing about, and you got this loud car, and I just see this quiet car pushing the loud car back. It's more shocking than the loud car pushing the small car back. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
because we all expected the opposite to happen. We all expect that to happen, and be done with it. But again, like, especially like with the car they were selling it on, like we said, the highlights all show Charlo knockouts. Yeah. But if you really look at the Charlos in the past, like I said, even for me, like they're selling them as the knockout artist, but I've never seen like just the one punch have a signature punch. Not like a Wilder. He's got the signature right hand. These guys like they got the knockout because it came, but I'm still waiting on that signature move, that how they set it up. Do you stalk them? Do you break them down?
Right. Because in my eyes, a lot of that knockouts because of the opposition they was facing. It was, like I said, we not watching them set up the knockout like we see Terrence Crawford and other guys out here really doing. Going to the body earlier. Then later on getting them out of there. Those guys are just, and that's what I'm saying, man. But you had to be aware of that, and the first 20 fights you have might be this style and this pattern, and you just went in there and walked through them. Boxing is styles. It's not.
That should have changed just like that. You know what I mean?
But you gotta know that, though, Ant. You know what I mean? Because everything is not going to be rock'em sock'em robots. It's going to be a guy that's moving. It's going to be a guy that's running. It's going to be a guy that's everything you can think of.
In your face or whatever. But if you're too much accustomed to being in your face, that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? You got to remember that this guy could pose any type of threat. Like I said, just that little thing, just like in this fight here, like the distance, just that fight when as soon as the fight started, I was like, Charlo, you need to close that distance. This is a long guy, like just speaking as a corner talk, like I said, he did enough to win, but Harrison was doing enough to make him look bad. And that's for the next polished boxer. You know what I mean? Like the next polished boxer, that's going to be a step up over Harrison. He's going to outclass him.
And that's kind of what really happened. That they fought two guys with two styles that really made them look bad. But you got to know that it's styles make fights. There's all kinds of styles out there, and had to be able to make adjustments to accommodate the different styles. And that's what I said. It's just more impactful. It's more shocking because of how much bravado they have, and had it been a quiet guy, it wouldn't have been no big thing. Okay, yeah, well, that happened, but this is like people kind of want to laugh in their face because they have barked and we've seen them diss bloggers and just do all the stuff they do. So it's like you got to be careful with that energy, and you know what I'm saying, because when you do not perform or get that knock, people coming for you. They coming for you. You know what I'm saying? They coming for you.
Right.
They coming for you.
For me, I know there's a purpose to it. You got to have the ego. Some fighters, that's their thing. But like in the casual's eyes, you do got to kind of walk that line. You know what I mean? You got to walk the ego and the talent got to walk hand in hand. They got to walk hand in hand. They got to hold hands like, hey, you should talk when we knock somebody out. Exactly. When you set it up right.
Exactly.
So,
and people be who they are. If you're a champion and you drink and you do these things, that be that. And people say, yo, he not a role model, but he's the baddest man on the planet right now. You know what I'm saying? People have to be who they are. And if that's what you do, don't get on camera and say, oh, this, and try to be something that you're not, because people see through that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People see through that too. And people really respect a fighter more being who he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Being who he is.
Yeah. That's why I say, if I was to say anything about them, I ain't going to talk them down, but I'm going to say it wasn't a robbery again. I say that because I feel like Charlo won 8-4, but the fight was a wake-up call. Like, if they would have gave you the win, I would have called it a wake-up call. I would have definitely said, hey, you escaped by in that fight, but we got to go back and work. We got to go back and work.
Well, I mean, if they smart and their ego's not too big, and they'll eat that slice of humble pie, both of them, and maybe come back. But I mean, that still remains to be seen. Like I said, these dudes pushing 30. I mean, it's not a whole much more time to get great. You either got it or you don't. I'm watching guys have it, and nurturing it, and you know what I'm saying,
feeding it,
feeding it, and you know what I'm saying. So
again, going back to the ego and the skill thing, like take a break on ego. We see you, we see you now. We know who you are. So go and nurture the skill for
nurture
a while,
the skill. Let the skill catch up to the talk.
Let the skill catch up to the talk.
Got y'all, got eyes looking and people watching. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That is dangerous. When you do that, because sometimes it happens faster than you're ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your mouth can cash it. Right, a check that your ass can't cash.
Right.
And that's what they mean. So,
yeah.
Talking and just, all the things, they're very marketable. They twins, they brothers, they got blonde hair, they loud, they're very marketable. So if y'all can continue to win, you're going to be stars. Don't worry about that.
Right.
But you gotta.
Yeah, people will look when the wins come.
Y'all guaranteed to be stars if y'all can perform in this ring.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, they got everything that people, turn people into stars. So it's just like, but this is what's going to turn you into a star, not this. You know what I'm saying?
Because imagine, people are looking at Bud because he's winning and he's not talking. Imagine if they do the same thing he do. They'll get superstar status because they talking too. You know what I mean?
Status.
That's what I mean. Like once they keep focusing on that and just not doing the extra, then it'll all kind of fall in line, man. That's why I think that they were so hyped on building the show up that when you get in there sometime it didn't catch up, man. You kind of gassed out on this one thing when you were supposed to focus here, not fall flat in the ring. You know what I mean?
I mean, because it's a lot, dude. They did a lot of media.
It's a lot.
They under the bright lights. It's a lot. It's a lot of pressure, but we got to understand that. We don't. The fighters got to understand that, it's still real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still real. And as much as you think you are the best, it's a guy who always want to take that from you. That never changes. It's never a day where, don't know why you even want to take me. You know what I mean? No. Somebody want that
watching,
every day.
studying you. Yeah.
So, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Like, to me, from here, call for that rematch. Prove that you want it in the rematch. That's all you can do for me.
That's all. And it's no hate to either guy. It's no hate to Charlo. That's the only way to solve this, eh?
Yeah.
That's the only way to solve a bum decision.
And for me, like, definitely, I'm not taking anything away from, like, Tony Harrison, because people have talked him down. I'm like, no, the dude has skill. He was doing some things. That's why I say, like, if somebody had that skill turned up times 2 or 3, they would have beat him convincingly. But, I think Tony Harrison, he said he wants to get that rematch. That's respect. Respect to him, because he wants to be the best too.
Yeah. So and then it should be no excuses in the rematch. It is what it is.
It's gonna be everything, so, let it all out.
Yeah, and think about it. This ain't a fight that Charlo thought that we're turning into something like this. You never know with boxing. You never know what's gonna be a trilogy, or you just don't know. Yeah. It might not be him and her. It might be him and Harrison. We don't know. You know what I mean? We never seen it coming. You couldn't have predicted it. You know what I mean? But guess what? It's on and popping at this particular moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because imagine, like, you could come out with the razors then decision this time, and then people want that third fight. Like he said,
want that third fight. Want that third. And I'm already tell you going in, man. They got to be going for the kill, man.
Got to.
I mean, I'm not saying go head hunting. Set the knockout up.
Slow him down.
Yeah, you ain't got to just go head hunting.
Nah,
man. I mean,
it takes me back to that Carlos Katana and Paul Williams fight.
Yeah.
Carlos Katana gave Paul Williams a pretty good fight that time, and it was a learning experience for Paul Williams. He lost that fight.
Yeah.
And you remember what he did in the rematch.
That's true. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I say. Yeah, that's like the only way. Only thing you could do, It's the only thing you could do.
For real. Yeah, man.
I mean, because you got to look at it. The bright side is, I do got a shot at redemption.
Yeah.
It could just be, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got robbed, quote unquote, and that's it.
Yeah.
But you got robbed. I got a chance for redemption to try to make that, you know what I mean? Or get my stuff back. However you want to look at it, you do got that a chance to get that,
Yeah. And the plus side, it wasn't a KO. You know what I mean? Like, as KO is open and shut, it could do damage to you before the rematch. You know what I mean? Hey, this is just a fight. Fine tune some things. If you this good, prove it.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy because just like that, Harrison is in the mix. And I know, like you said, and he wasn't, he was a legit fighter, but he in the mix to other people now because of the name of the Charlos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because definitely like he's in that mix because of his skill, but a lot of people were expecting Charlo Hurd. You know what I mean?
Right.
They wanted
Absolutely.
Charlo Hurd now.
Absolutely.
But now that he's in the mix, we got to take it.
Yeah,
you know?
but and not even necessarily in the mix because of the skills, just because he got to win over a big name in the game that people, you know what I mean? Now people know Harrison because of the Charlos. You know what I mean?
Right.
He fought Hurd. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now I know who he is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even for me, that connected, and now I'm never going to really forget Harrison, you know, because of the Charlo fight. Yeah, of the Charlo fight because of their name. You know, Harrison name didn't attract me to the fight. The Charlo did. I tuned in to see what they were going to do, but lo and behold, this guy did some stuff that now, you know, I know who he is.
That opens that up.
Yeah, so there's so many ways to look at it, man. But shout out to all the fighters last weekend for stepping in the ring, because we all, you know, we always say, man, just stepping in the ring alone, it takes a lot, and stepping out the ring, you know, healthy, that takes a lot too. But you know, stepping in there and performing this weekend, you know, that's the way it goes, and it don't always go your way, but you have the chance to fight another day. And that's the positive side of it, you know what I mean? Because I mean, we looking at Adonis Stevenson, who right now he don't have a chance to fight another day. You know what I'm saying?
On that note too, a few days ago, his girlfriend did announce that he's awake, you know, and he is talking a little bit. Yeah. So he spent the holidays with his family. So we're just taking time to recover, but he's doing a little better, man.
That's what's up.
Definitely. But yeah, man, next fight though, the Jamal Charlo fight versus Matt Korobov. Now this one, man, this one was a little bit more skilled, high skill, like, you know, this fight could have gone either way, man. It was to me something that Charlo didn't really expect, and it was that high level chess, man. Mm-hmm. He really turned into high level chess, man. And like I told you in the last episode, based off of his inactivity, I picked the knockout for Charlo because again, I'm expecting Charlo to show improve tonight. You know what I mean? I'm expecting his power and his skill and his motivation to overcome this late replacement, but like we said in the late episode, we talked about late replacements. We said that sometimes a guy, they can just come and go through the motions and let the A side win, but they can look for an upset. Mm-hmm. He was looking for an upset. Man. That first half of the fight, he really boxed nice to me. He was kind of controlling that distance again. He was kind of making this Charlo wait too. You know, he was really sticking that left hand out that I was saying, like, man, if he had more power on that left hand, this fight could have ended, because Charlo was taking that left hand a few times. He was snapping Charlo's head, and Charlo was really going through the motions too, waiting too much, man, standing in front of a guy that, you know, I know they probably didn't do research on, but they need to know that he's a boxer. You know, he's a pretty high level boxer too, man. So up to that sixth round, I had it 4-2 Korobov, man.
Yeah,
I had it that close. That dominant in that first half, but I felt that as he slowed down in that second half, Charlo was able to sit down on some shots, but his momentum went up, whereas Korobov kept the same momentum, but still landing that left hand, man. Like, you can't stand in front of a guy like that. Yeah, you got to look out for those angles. And up to the 10th round, Charlo tied it to me. You know, it was tied by the 10th round, and I felt that Charlo did pull out the 11 and 12, of course, because of that left hook in the 12th round where he rocked him but still couldn't get him out of there. Yeah. So I had it about 7-5, but that's how close it was, because up to 10, this guy Korobov, he came to fight, man. He came to fight. Like, what'd you think of his performance, man?
I thought it was a very solid performance on you know, Korobov's behalf. Like I said, you know, the ball was in the Charlo's court to be impressive, to be dominant, and that's not what I saw. I really saw what we saw: a 35-year-old man of that, an older guy, kind of schooling a younger guy. I mean, not way younger, but a few years younger, and seeing him do veteran tricks and things that you learn from boxing for a while. You know what I'm saying? I just seen him doing veteran things on this kid, schooling him, outboxing him. You know what I mean? And like I say, it's the same thing, Ant. You know, a guy you think that's going to get washed, once you start seeing the little things he doing or the big things that he's doing, they kind of get bigger because you don't expect this guy to be doing that. You know what I mean? So, you know, like you say, he's touching with the left hand. It ain't a lot of pop on it, but it's like, oh, he is touching them though. I mean, oh, you know.
Straight down the pipe.
And the thing about it, it's no adjustments getting made. It's the same thing you're walking into. So it's just like, it was another lackluster performance, to be honest. And you know, they invested so much into this card, and for them to be headlining this card, they really didn't live up to the expectations of having such an opportunity. And you know, opportunity like this, man, you supposed to go and be guns blazing, dog, in my eyes. You know what I mean? You don't know if you're going to get another headliner on a major network like
That's
that.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Because, like, in our eyes on this show, when I'm telling you, like, we talking late replacements and anything can happen. To the casual fans' eye, the PBC's eye, they're like, damn, a late replacement, you gonna knock him out the same way. You know, if you want to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we expect that we put him in here, you gonna do the same thing.
Exactly.
But us, when we do research, we say, oh shit, this might not be the easy fight it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like,
not be that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That pressure is still on you to perform the same way, even with a late replacement. A late replacement, you supposed to kind of do better, to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, it's just so many things to take from these fights. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these guys, I'm not going to say they hype jobs. You know what I mean? They do have some skills, but it's like, it's a lot to work on and not a lot of time to work on it, Ant, because it's nothing but lines out here right now. Which way are you gonna go that's gonna give you time to build up some of the things you need to build up? It ain't nothing but dangerous fights at 154 and 160 that we will watch. We not just gonna watch you fight anybody. You know what I'm saying?
And I think, again, kind of going back to the image thing, I think people would have given them that chance if they didn't let that ego let go of the skill hand. You know what I mean? Yeah. You left the skill kind of behind, whereas Jamal, like, we've been saying that, man. We've been saying on past episodes, like, you stepping into 160 and you want these guys, these A-level guys. Well, you just fought Hugo Centeno, but we need you in there with a Lemieux, Derevchenko, Andrade, somebody, you know, fight these guys along the way to open your eyes, you know, wake you up. See, Korobov, not many people know, he been there.
Yeah.
He been there, so look at his eyes in this fight. First half of this fight, he was already kind of winning the mental game because he was already like, I'm going to test him out, see what he got, just to see if does he have what they say. But all the while, I'm going to be building up points, you know. I'm going to keep scoring until then. And like I said, first half, he was winning. You know, until the parts he would slow down, that's where Charlo would go back to doing what he was doing, but it wasn't nothing special. You know what I mean? It was still nothing special, but he was winning. But imagine again, like if you were fighting a boxer who's going to take that to the third power, blow you out, you know, a little bit more power on your left hand. You know,
that like you say,
Ronnie Shields, a trainer, you know, that was like, hey, you got to work. You know, start letting the right hand go.
And I'm thinking about a triple G jab landing on you all night long.
Yeah.
That type of power on you. You ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. If Matt landing all night like that with no power, imagine somebody, triple G, who's got a great jab, hard jab, you know what I'm saying, coming at you all night. You gotta think about those things, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like you say, we need to see you in the middle somewhere to prove that you can make it through the middle.
Yeah.
You know, which would be a Lemieux, a Billy Joe, Boo Boo Andrade, a few names. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what you got to do, but people don't understand. Like, okay, like, get in there with a Lemieux. He lost to Triple G, Billy Joe Saunders for a reason, but you haven't fought that level. Get in there so you can see if you can handle that same pressure, blow him out the same way or even better. That's what I'm saying. Like, you had to have been doing all of this work, not just with one fight at middleweight and then jump into this fight and think it's going to be easy. You know, each step up. Well, shit, like we said, this was a late replacement. You're supposed to blow him out, you know?
I mean, and it's just like, I mean, how can you possibly think that you can topple the greats when you're not even like walking among the greats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not walking among giants. You know what I mean? You can you can beat the giants, but you're not even really walking amongst them. You know, we don't hear stories of, yo, I'm strong with a heavyweight. I'm training, you know, with these names, that name, you know, and just to think that, and see, that's the thing, how they said you drinking the juice. Mm-hmm. That's what can happen. That's what happens when you drink the juice. You start thinking that I can do anything, and they was drinking the juice.
Yeah.
You talk about the top three at middleweight. You talking about Danny Jacobs, Triple G, Canelo, any of them three names being mentioned. You drinking the juice.
Yeah.
You drinking the juice because you've done nothing before. Nobody that would make you think that you stand a chance against them. In any boxing fan eyes, now his eyes, you know, he might think so, but I mean, where's that data at, eh? Where's that data at that he could face one of those guys?
No, because if anything, like the past three opponents that Danny Jacobs were fighting, I wanted to see him in there with. You know, those were the young undefeated guys. Arias, Shevchenko. Those are the names that you need too. Like while Danny Jacobs, he lost that Golovkin fight, he went back to work. Yeah. You know, whereas y'all haven't been there yet. Keep working.
But they need those names. Period. Not
they need them now.
Yeah, not two. Y'all need those names. Period. Because we need to prove that you can be the selector. You want to say a Derevchenko. Like, we need to know that. You can't just say I'm going from D to A. Right. You know what I'm saying? We need some B's and C's in there. I ain't saying a whole lot, you know, but we need
but a good reference list. You know what I mean? Like when we say, oh man, he beat these three undefeated fighters, he's ready. Right. You know, Danny. He did that. That's what I'm saying. Like if we saw that besides just a Centeno, we would have said, okay, he's ready.
You wouldn't hear a thing out my mouth.
I would have been petitioned.
If he did that, I would be like, yo, I mean, he's ready. He ready. I mean, hey, I want the other guy to win, or I want this to happen, but he's ready. He's in the mix. He's in that, you know, trifecta of the top 3 or 4 guys.
Exactly. But like you said, whenever you're starting to reach a certain age, for him, do you think he realized that now when he's going to go back and get another opponent, or you think he's still petitioning for like a Jacobs fight or Canelo?
See, the thing is that once you real vocal like that, once you high and then you come down crashing, it's hard to really figure where their psyche could be. I don't know if he like taking it good or taking it bad. You know, this stuff could really be bothering him. You know, they twins. My brother lost his belt because being 2 champions, that meant a lot. Oh, they twins and they both got belts. We coming in the club got our belt. You know, I know it meant a lot. So I think that kind of hurt both of them. You know what I mean? Because they not what they was before they came into that fight. You know, before coming in that fight, they was 2 brothers, both of them champions. You know, that was worth something. So I don't know where is he humble enough to say, yo, I need to go back to the drawing board and work on some things, or he still think, yo, that was just an off night for me, yo. I ain't feel good, or whatever it may be. I don't know, I don't know.
Because right now, you know, going by that performance, it's definitely saying that, you know, Canelo is not a guy he wants right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely not a championship fight. That's definitely not a fight deal he wants. Even Jacobs, definitely.
That wouldn't be the smart thing. None of them, man. None of them. He don't want to mix up with none of them from what we saw Saturday night. I mean, that's my opinion, and pretty much the rest of the whole boxing. He don't want none of those 3 names right now. We don't even know if he can stand against a Lemieux. We don't know that.
Yeah, that's
come on, think about it. Think about it. Had Derevchenko been landing on him like he'd been knocked out, eh?
Yeah.
Had Harrison, had Jamel been facing a guy who was countering like him with some serious power, it'd have been a short night, eh? It'd have been a short night. They was getting hit a lot.
Yeah, it got hit a lot that night. That's the thing.
And I'm just saying. I mean, you know, they are relevant, but they need to go to work. Like Terrence Crawford is going to work. I mean, I don't understand people going to work and don't get props. People not going to work out here getting credit. I don't understand that. Terrence Crawford don't get the shine. He ain't headlining a pay-per-view. I mean, a PBC card and all that. You know, but he out here just constantly stacking the deck. Stacking the deck. Every time out, he's stacking the deck. Well, I ain't seen him just cut the deck one time, man. Every time he's stacking the deck with his opponent.
Yeah, each level he keep going up, man. He just keep going up. And what's crazy, I want to say too about 160 is like there was a fighter. Remember Hassan and Dom? I give him his credit. I mean, he was losing a lot too, but he was going through those emotions where he was beating certain level of guys, and he stepped in there with Lemieux, got knocked out. But
yeah,
that's the call. That's the road where you find out what level you're gonna be on. You know, I watched that fight one night and I was like, damn, he's fighting, but he's getting beat up. Then when he got beat, I was like, okay, maybe he's not on that level.
Yeah,
but Charlo, I want to see him go through that level. I want to see him blow out these guys if he got it like that.
We got to, man. We got to. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, before you get to the final state, because what happens is, if he just jumps up there and gets blown off, I told you he wasn't ready, or, it'll be that. So let's make sure he's ready. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's make sure he's ready.
Yeah.
And the way you would do that is testing him within the cesspool of great fights at 160. It's nowhere in the world he can't be tested at 160 with Boo Boo Andrade, Billy Joe Sanders. I mean, all those guys at 168. And Derevchenko, Selecki.
There's a lot of guys that they really, have to test the waters with before you get in there with those three guys. I think there's business moves and then there's fight moves. You know what I mean? Right. Fight moves will bring you into business, but if you just about the money, then it's like AJ. Don't go for belts.
Yeah. And it's health moves because you can move, you can get
Keith Thurman moves.
Yeah, you could be chasing the dollar and get into a fight that you're really not ready for and wind up getting hurt real bad is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because you're chasing the dollar. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like if you ain't prepared for it.
Yeah, like say they possibly dangled the Canelo fight over him. Dude, is he man enough to say, yo, I ain't ready? They offered me $30 million, or I'm gonna go and turn up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, for me, corner talk, if you real talk with him, you better tell him that, nah, you ain't. Because, he's been talking that, and I think him being a man, he would say, I'm ready for it. Like, if this fight wasn't on the line, he would have taken that fight.
What? The
Canelo fight.
Yeah.
And I think it's up to people sometime to bring their ego down, say, nah, you ain't ready. As trainers or whoever you got to say, nah, you ain't ready. This is too big, Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you do have that, you do have that luxury, but at the end of the day, the fighter's a boss. You can say you ain't gonna, shit, then you fired then.
Yeah, you fired me.
I'm going to buy Freddie Roach in here. I got money to bring it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you got egomaniacs like that. That's what they say, like, are you humble enough to take that type of advice from people? There's so many people that you can't tell them nothing that.
Yeah.
You can't tell them that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can say it, but they ain't going to listen. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, because he looking at it like this. Oh, they dangling Canelo $30 million. Mom's retired. We good. I could, you know what I'm saying? You just start pipe dreaming on with these big checks. Can really do, and you ready to go. You ready to go, regardless of whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you could get hurt. I'm not saying he would get hurt, but I'm just saying in principles of just box and prayer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Rocky Fielding, he probably felt that way.
Yeah,
he took it, and then when he took it, he was like, "Shit,
I work for this shit. See, I'm still pissing blood right now." And like you say, and we need people in the corner to tell them the real, but they gotta want to listen to it. Right. You know what I mean? Because they driving the ship. I mean, we ain't nothing if they don't fight. We getting money and we working because we their corner man, whatever the case may be. So they driving the ship. So it's like, I think some of them are so much of egomaniacs, like anything, celebrities, entertainers, a lot of them like that, don't have the right people around them, or have people that can really tell them the truth. Tell them the truth, because people don't want to tell them.
Too many yes men sometimes,
People don't want to tell the truth because they thinking the check might stop. If I tell him the truth, he probably ain't gonna pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so many ways to look at it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but you
got to think too, like especially when they in their gym, with 7-8 other people and they see that one thing and everybody, oh yeah, you doing that right, but he actually see it. They be like, I don't want to be that clown to call him out on it.
Because I'm gonna be a hater. That's why you just hating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's repercussions for telling the truth.
Yeah, there is. Like it could help them in the long run, but that's if they want to listen.
Like Floyd Favre in the gym when he probably was just trying to tell Floyd something, but
turned into a big altercation, man, just like that. I remember whenever Senior said something, you know, I was just like, okay, but then I was like, whoa. Then it was like, damn.
Why you come to life when I brought that up, though?
Because
right?
man, I remember he was trying to like put hands, you know.
That's what
it would have came to blows,
dude,
and
that's
like
what I'm saying.
that's
how
a good
it can
example.
be. How it can be when people are unapproachable. Some people, you know, and it was a lot of dynamics with that's father, son, you know, a lot of stuff. But I'm just saying, you know, you're trying to bring good, but it can turn bad.
It can
turn
bad.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just brought that up because that was like an infamous.
That was
I mean, that thing had me emotional and feeling bad. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But all these guys willing to listen because I mean, Derek James, that's their coach, right?
Derek James is Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields. Yeah, Ronnie Shields
is their coach.
Yeah. Derek James is training with Jamel.
Okay.
Ronnie Shields with Jamal. It might be because I remember that night. Yeah, Ronnie was telling. He was like, "Hey, somebody need to let their hands."
That's
go.
what I was about to say. I mean, the corner people wasn't saying, "Yo, that's not working." What you do? Switch to this. Start doing it. I mean, nobody was saying. So either they was saying it and they wasn't listening, or they wasn't saying it. Because
I
don't believe Ronnie Shields.
Ronnie Shields, world class. He tell
Ronnie
you how
Shields
it is.
wasn't telling you the right shit to do.
Yeah, and he was.
You know what I mean? So come on. I mean, you know, it's that's the mental part of it, and being able to accept
the truth,
accept. And go out there and like execute a game plan too. You know? Like they say, Andre Ward was like one of the best at like kind of following the game plan because it's a lot. I mean, you gotta like I say, everybody got a game plan till you get punched in the mouth. That's real.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that's kind of where the training they come in because what you see you ain't seeing the big picture. You know you see. I mean, you're in there, but they're seeing something else. Yeah. Like if you put what they say with what you see. It'll work most of the time.
It'll work, yeah. Because I mean, think about it. Your view is limited, motherfucker. You watching for punches coming, so you ain't seeing footwork. You ain't seeing everything. The coach, he's seeing all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you might feel like, yo, I'm in here fighting. You don't, but
if you make this one little adjustment, you won't have to worry about it.
Really, dude, he got the better view. You know what I mean? He's seeing the bigger picture than you are. You know what I mean? Right. You might feel like you are because you're in there fighting, but he's really got the better view, dude. I'm sorry, I gotta. You're not right about this one. You know what I'm saying? He got the better view. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but that's the thing, and if they can get that marriage to work, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, we've seen that connection with a few fighters and trainers. I mean, one that just will come to mind real quick is and it's kind of probably like a hard one is Vladimir and Emmanuel Stewart. You know, even though we seen Emmanuel going off on Vladimir time and time again, but I actually watched him turn a guy who was getting knocked out, known for not having a chin to heavyweight, into a dominating force in the reigning champion for what, 13 years? Yep. So just something like that because of their relationship and the closeness that they had and the trust they must have had for each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
somebody willing to, again, you know, humble themselves and take constructive criticism. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like your chin is out. You're wasting too much stamina. You know, you ain't fighting tall. You know, you giving up your height. Just those little things. He probably actually opened him up. You know, Emmanuel Stewart, he's very vocal. you know, when he in your corner. So yeah, I definitely understand that it definitely takes somebody to accept that
information, you know what I mean?
But for real, man, real talk with the Charlos, like I said, this wasn't the card that they anticipated. A lot of us don't anticipate, but I think it was just a good wake up call from here. I think it's a wake up call where rematch for Jamel and for Jamal. Definitely gotta get in that. Definitely gotta go in them tiers of the middleweight division. Don't jump to the A. Get some more B's on there. Get some more B's on there. Get that work in, man.
Get that boo boo fight popping, man.
That's the one.
Get that boo boo fight popping. I mean, the history there already. I mean, I don't understand why he wouldn't even want that fight. I would want to put that body on my resume. Yeah. He got a little name. He been talking. Boom. Put him on resume.
That's a belt too.
Yeah. I mean, Centeno, that ain't do nothing for your resume.
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. Matt, had you washed Matt, it wouldn't have really did nothing. Now,
It does.
You know, it
something.
does a little something. You know
Does
what I
a little
mean?
something,
Yeah, we
yeah.
see that. Yeah, you can dig a little deep, but you had to dig.
Yeah.
You had to dig.
Had to dig
know
on
what
this
I'm
one, bro. Yeah. But real quick on this last fight, with the last two, that Dominic Breazeale and Carlos Negron, man, he scored his knockout in Dillian White. He scored his against Derek Chisora.
Oh yeah.
Which is Chisora, man. I actually had him winning.
Yeah.
Until the referee kept on taking points from him, man. Like, took a point for a low blow. But, you know, Dillian White got them trunks so high up. So he trying to go to the body. How can you miss, you know?
Right.
And then Dillian White leaned on him once towards the late of the fight. So, like, Derek Chisora shot up an elbow, tried to hit him, and the referee took a point for that. And, like, towards the end, I could tell Chisora just kind of lost focus, you know?
Yeah.
Tried to go in again with the same plan, and he got caught and got knocked out cold.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot.
And then, you know, AJ was like, oh, if Wilder don't want it, you know, we could do this again. And then on the other side, you got Dominic Breazeale saying, hey, I want Wilder. So to me, these two need to fight.
Ooh, which
Dillian White and Breazeale.
Okay.
They need to fight. I
Yeah.
feel like they need to fight, and the winner of that fight fights Luis Ortiz.
I mean, and that makes sense because those are fights we've never seen before. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We've seen Wilder and Brazil. We've seen Dillian and
Joshua
AJ.
and Breazeale.
Wilder didn't knock
No.
Brazil out?
Out of the ring. You know, remember they had the little hotel altercation?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
so
AJ's fought both of them.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, still make it because some of these fights we haven't seen yet. You know what I mean? I really don't. The Dillian White and AJ is cool, but mix up some of those other fights.
Yeah.
Put Ortiz in there. You know what I mean? Those are some guys that some fights we want to see that we haven't seen.
Yeah, because we already kind of seen what they do on the level as soon as they step up to that threshold and get knocked back down, you know? And, like, I feel like Dillian White, he didn't really blow out Derek Chisora. He knocked him out, but until then, he was competitive.
Yeah, caught him with a shot.
In Brazil, in that fight, he was getting lobbed, man. Like, the ground had that head wild.
Yeah, they was just a slugfest.
Just
Those two,
slugfest.
yeah.
So I'm like, what does that really tell you? Like, why skip again? Like with them, why skip that B level tier and go straight for the A? You know, and y'all ain't gonna make it. Like, see, at least Luis Ortiz would give him a different look. You know?
Yeah, and build that stock at the same time, man.
Build
Because
stock.
you put that name on your resume. Because, like you said, if you just make that leap and get knocked out, oh, I told you he wasn't ready. This, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? You ready for somebody like Ortiz?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can beat him, but you ready for him.
ready.
That would be an interesting fight. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, I you know, people just gotta, like we say, we know it's business, but we still gotta do fights that make sense to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we still gotta look at it like that. Like, hey, sometimes the fight has to build up just a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Or fighter needs to build us up. But then there's fights that we need different shits to happen now, you know?
Yeah.
And that ain't Brazil versus Wilder ain't really something we've been asking for.
And that nobody's like really interested for that either. And,
Wilder's got the rematch coming up, you know?
Yeah.
That's where he's at.
and let me tell you, Wilder's always going to be a guy that needs a name attached to him to do big numbers. He's never going to be a pay-per-view star himself. You know,
Right.
I don't see that. He's 33 right now. When is it going to happen?
Right.
You know, a guy like Brazil, that's not really interesting. You need that AJ. You need that Tyson Fury. You need those names connected to you. You know what I'm saying? Bare minimum, somebody like Ortiz. Other
Right.
than that, you're not really doing no numbers. And
Right.
now that he done did the 300 pay-per-view buys, I don't really, they trying to
ain't
stay in
taking
that
a step
realm.
back.
Yeah, they trying to
Right.
stay in that realm now, and they know what they can do.
Right, because Wilder already did the legwork. He did that 40-something fights and all these knockouts, whatever people say, you know? But we know that he's not that superstar, so he has to get what he can now. You know what I mean? He knows his career is coming to a close. So, go ahead and get this AJ and Wilder fight. Brazil, that's just a step back right now.
Yeah, it is.
Unless you beat White and Ortiz, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and exactly, because, I mean, styles make fights. Some you have an off night, you go in there and get caught and get knocked out by Brazil and just mess up everything. You know what I'm saying?
And again, man, that Brazil fight, I just saw heads lobbing back. I never really saw anybody.
No skill, just two big guys
Two big two
lobbing away.
two big bodies, yeah. Yeah, man. But we ain't got much going on this weekend coming up, man.
No,
Not till next month. That's whenever
Yeah, AB next month, right?
AB and Pacquiao. Then you got Keith Thurman at the end of the month. A little bit about him, man. He
been talking.
Talking.
Yeah,
Exactly. He been talking. He said some things like Keith, I'm not showing no respect to Terrence Crawford as a welterweight yet because he hasn't beat somebody like Amir Khan. And I'm like, if he's not that respectable, he got a belt and he's this easy, why not fight him instead of Josito Lopez? You know what I mean? If he's that soft of a touch, take him instead of Jose, right? You know?
So Terrence Crawford is a soft touch, but Jose,
he's not a proven welterweight.
Yeah, Jose is not a soft touch. You know what I mean? Come on, man. They don't even make sense.
Don't make sense, man. Just don't make sense. And then you say something like the Spence fight is not happening at all this year.
Wow. For me, I'm just hoping to see him in there with Jose. If I can get him to do that, I'll be happy.
At least make that fight.
Yeah, just
at least get that
him
fight
in, and then once he get in, we ain't gonna let him back out. You know what I'm saying? But at least we got to trick him into coming in, because if we start throwing Spence and Crawford, I think we running him off again.
You said go Groundhog Day.
Yeah, we gotta bait him in, man. So bait him in with Jose. Let him come in, feel comfortable. Because that's what he need. He needs another confidence booster.
But then he gonna say something like, "Oh, I could do the Pacquiao fight this year or the Porter fight." You know, come on, those are both dangerous fights this year. So I mean, you going in there, Porter already know you, gave you one of your toughest fights, and then Pacquiao, you know, a veteran.
Yeah, that's
like if Pacquiao Thurman have it, I still go with Pacquiao.
Yeah, yeah, this dude all over the place, man. I don't know, man. Some of that stuff might make you really wonder, is there something else? Is there something deeper going on? Because nothing you saying really making sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because in the game, you know, fans, we just want to hear yes or no, really, you know, like
yes or no.
Or no comment. You know, don't draw it out and not say anything, you know.
And the thing about it is, if you don't got a belt, we don't even really want to hear yes or no. We really want to hear that from people who got belts, because we trying to make the division go forward. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if two low level guys don't want to fight, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. Yeah. But, you know, we really want these these fights to happen that are going to change the dynamics of divisions. And you know what I'm saying? Answer questions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But, yeah, man, I think we covered pretty much everything I went down this past weekend. It was a semi good closer to the boxing year, man.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, we got some good fights coming up. I mean, it you know, you got to have things like this happen sometime to answer questions, man.
That's why I say, for me, I like stuff like this. Every fight can be a knockout or a barn burner, because stuff like this helps me assess future fights. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Future fighters helps me assess fighters. I learned a lot about these guys this weekend. You know what I'm saying? A lot about these guys. So, I'm curious now to see how they bounce back from this.
Same here. Yeah. Same.
I mean, not bounce back in the way that they took such a hit, but what's going to be their next move?
Right. I agree. Yeah, I agree with that, man. But, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to come back again, man, 40 years over, man, talk. Who do you think your top 5 fighters was this year, as far as like that made the biggest statement? That might be something we have to do later. What you think?
Yeah, I got to marinate on that a little bit. You know, at the top, I already got one that's just like a surefire. I could go one all day.
I think it's the same one we agree on most time.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not really a lot of people doing a whole lot of things in this new era. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of, you know, doing prominent things in their careers. Guys maybe getting wins, getting knockouts, but you know, it's only a few people really, like we say, stacking the deck, stacking their career, making moves. We see where they trying to, you know, go and be.
Only a few making me go, oh yeah, I like that. You know what I mean? Or saying, oh, I see what they doing. You know, but then there's other guys I see, oh, they got a belt. Then what you gonna do with it? You know? Absolutely.
So that's something we had to revisit, because and to be honest, I might have to think deep to find 5.
Yeah, I think we get off. We might talk about a little bit about it, right? I think I got mine. I think
you already got 5.
I think so.
Oh, all right. Yeah, well, I need a little bit of time to think about that.
Oh yeah, that's cool. But yeah, man. like always, man, just make sure y'all subscribe to us on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud, and the YouTube channel, Jab Effect, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But again, man, yeah, good boxing year. I know last time I said I was ungrateful.
Yeah, I mean,
I still like 2017 better, but you know,
because like I say, even a fight like this is still good for the sport. Because we learned something, we seen, you know, we got
all
to see
day.
something. Yeah, so you
nothing's
know,
perfect. Yeah, all day, man. But what you want to say in rapping, P? Anything?
Not too much, man. We just closing out the year. We how many days away from 2019? At
5.
We 5 days away, and just I want everybody to be careful out there, be safe, and just look forward to doing some bigger and better things next year, man. That's it, really.
Yeah, and shout out to our Jab Effect fam that
Absolutely.
follow us and subscribe and listen, man.
The Jab fam, yeah, man. It's a lot of them out there. Over the year, we done acquired a nice little following of people that we engage with on a regular basis, so that's always cool or whatever. But yeah, man, it's funny, and it's a year, already. Again, closing out, and we just still sitting at this table doing this, looking at each other doing the same thing, man. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
We were doing that before, but then we said let's do something else with it, something special. You know what I mean? Something better with it. But yeah, man. Before we wrap this up, my name is Combo Breaker 99.
It's your boy Boxing P, y'all.
And we out.
Later.
Peace.